What's up, mortgage fans? I'm gonna give you some juicy stories today. I'm gonna tell you about 3 different scenarios of some common home buying mistakes that I've witnessed over my 15-year career. The problem is there's so much bad information online, and so many homeowners and future home buyers don't know where to go, who to trust, who to rely on good information. My name is Uyehara. I'm your mortgage specialist, helping you finance your home all across America. Let's hop into the video. All right, story number 1. We had a client that recently filled out a loan application online. They did not disclose that they had a foreclosure in the past. Now, when you're filling out an application, there's a certain section called the declarations that ask you if you've had a bankruptcy, did you have a foreclosure, do you have to pay child support? There's all these questions that they go through, and you have to answer yes or no. He did not disclose that he had a foreclosure. He then went into contract on a house, and as we were going through the loan process, we ended up finding out that he owned a property that did indeed go into foreclosure. Now, he had to wait an additional 6 months in order for him to qualify to purchase his home. But when we talked to him about the problem, he made it seem like he had no idea that the property was there. And he was like, well, it's only a couple more months. It's not that big of a deal. But you have to remember, these are hard guidelines that we have to follow as a lender. We don't make the rules up. This is from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. There's no special treatment that a lender's gonna give you if you have better credit or you have more money down to say, hey, let's just make an exception for myself. It doesn't work that way. So this guy ended up getting his loan declined because of the fact that he did not disclose the foreclosure and he didn't wait the allotted time frame in order for him to purchase. Story number 2, cash deposits. Cash deposits is a big no-no, especially when you're financing your home. As a lender, we have to make sure we can trace everything. We need to trace your earnest money deposit. We need to trace your cash to close, your down payment, anything that's going to be affiliated with the transaction, we have to document it. Now, there's a lot of times that people might get gift money from a family member or somebody, but you have to remember, we have to be able to source the funds. Now, this story goes to another client where they told us they were getting some money, and we did mention to them that we have to make sure that we can verify the funds. Now, as we're going through the loan process, we get an updated bank statement that had a $10,000 deposit. We go and ask the client, where did this money come from? And sure enough, it was cash. He said he had it in his shoebox. Can you believe that? 10 grand just laying in the shoebox. Deposited into his bank account. And of course, we couldn't use that money, so we had to back the funds out, and he ended up having to get a gift from a family member in order for him to close on this deal. So make sure that if you work in an industry where you get tips or there's cash that's involved, we have to claim that income. You have to do 2 things. Number 1, make sure you count that income on your taxes if you needed to qualify. And number 2, make sure you have that conversation with your lender up front so they understand how your income works and where your down payment comes from. Remember, hiding things from us is not going to help you get into a house. We have to be on the same page so we can give you the best advice to make sure we get you through the loan process. And story number 3, this comes down to rate shopping. There's so many clients that they get brainwashed into thinking that the lowest rate is the best deal for them. That's never the case. If you guys have been watching my channel, you know I always talk about strategy, and I truly believe that strategy outweighs rate any day of the week. But this specific client was shopping us when he went into contract and said that he got quoted some absurdly low interest rate somewhere else. And I basically told him there's nothing we can do. If they can truly give you that interest rate, go ahead and lock it in. If you have questions, you can always reach back out to us. So he went to the other lender, and about 2 weeks later, he calls me up saying that the rate that they had promised him is no longer available because of the credit score that he had and his overall file. Now, remember, I always talk about getting pre-approved and how important it is, because there's situations like this that come up that now he's being misled because maybe he had some bad information or he just didn't want his credit pulled and he thought that he knew more than what the lender did. So his deal fell out of escrow. He called us back to say, hey, can you still help me out and give me the same rate that you quoted me? Unfortunately, we couldn't do that. Rates change every single day, and because of the market conditions at that specific time during this transaction, rates actually got worse. So now, not only did he cost himself a better interest rate, but he was late to close on his loan And the seller was so frustrated at the fact that he shopped lenders in the middle of the process that the seller charged him a per diem fee, which basically means that they charged him $100 a day every single day that he was late past his original closing date. So this is why it's so important to make sure you lock arms with a good lender up front, because as his client was shopping around for the better deal, he actually ended up getting a worse deal because he got a higher interest rate and he costed himself another couple $1,000 because of the extension and how long it took to close his loan. So make sure when you're shopping around for a lender, you ask the right questions up front. Make sure that you understand that you're building a relationship with this lender. It's not always about the interest rate, because there's so many people out there that make this mistake every single day, thinking that they're gonna get some amazingly low interest rate, that the lender then does a bait and switch, doesn't give them the rate just to close their deal. And I hate hearing about these horror stories and these common mistakes that we just talked about. Now make sure to check out my playlist so you can watch more videos about how to get your mortgage right and don't make these mistakes. My name is Sean Uyehara, your mortgage expert helping you finance your homes all across America. And if you're looking to purchase or refinance or purchase an investment property, we got you covered. I'll see you on the next video.